You might agree that all parties need to make sacrifices in order to save GM and Chrysler. But then why isn't President Obama making any sacrifices in his massive $3.6 trillion budget? Tonight, he'll be meeting House Democrats to sell his plan. One man who needs no sales pitch at all is Congressman Joe Sestak from Pennsylvania, whom we welcome back to the program. Congressman, good to have you back.
Thanks, Stuart.
It's always a pleasure to have you on this program. We admire you. We respect you. I believe you're a former three-star admiral, if I'm not mistaken. That's correct, sir?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, look, welcome back. It's always good to hear from you. But I put it to you, when the subject is money, you, sir, are totally wrong. There is no sacrifice being made by this administration within this budget. And if you pass this budget, if you vote for it, you're taking us into uncharted territory with a $2 trillion deficit.
The president has given us a budget that, Stuart, has the right priorities in focusing upon health care, that we lose, because of the uninsured, $100 billion a year in productivity, education, energy. But I agree. When the Congressional Budget Office came out with its study, with a GDP growth between now and 2019 of about 2.5%, halfway between President Obama's and the blue chips, and it added $2.3 trillion to the debt, I believe we now have to step back and say, this budget in its present format is unsustainable.
Would you knock out, there's a lot of talk, Congressman, there's a lot of talk that you're going to knock out cap and trade. Which would impose higher energy price on most people. Would that be your first target? If you've got to knock something out, would that be it?
It would be. Second would be education. But I believe we can, at least as a minimum, address the health care issue. Second, I also believe the House needs to reconsider doing this on reconciliation. I came to Congress after leaving the Navy 3 years ago, believing in bipartisanship. It doesn't mean everybody gets equal, but it does mean you work together. But I do believe that of these priorities, as I continue to shift now over the next few days before I vote for this budget resolution, that I want to hold on to that health care issue.
Okay.
But the other two, maybe we take a step back to get out of this recession and then see going forward. I'm very concerned right now that we will have in 2019 82% of our GDP equivalency in our national debt. That is not sustainable.
But okay, look, last week the British government tried to raise lots and lots of money. They tried to borrow a ton of money because they've got a huge deficit. That auction of British Treasury securities failed. This year, we're going to try to raise, at a minimum, $1.8 trillion. There's every chance that when we try to borrow, we too may fail. Surely that's in the back of your mind when you're considering how much we're going to spend in this budget.
Let me be clear. You are obviously an expatriate, but let me make sure I'm clear on this. I am a large proponent of putting enough fuel and even burning it on this ship to get us out quickly from this storm. Because if we wallow here for 3 or 4 or 5 years, we're going to burn more fuel at bigger deficits. So the stimulus bill and the TARP and the TALF are all spot on. However, as we come out of this recession, and sitting down with Mr. Bernanke last week, he told a small group of us, we do expect to be coming out of it at the end of this year, beginning of next year. It means unemployment will still remain at about 8 or 7% for a year or two, but at about that time is when we have to go back for pay-as-you-go. Look, the Chinese sent a shot out a few weeks ago. They said, we're going to give you a buy right now for a year or two to get you through, because we agree with you on this stimulus spending. But after that, we want to see you return to good prudence in balancing your budget. There's a difference between the budget and these efforts, which are absolutely necessary, Stuart, to get us quickly out of this storm. And then we have to, as I said, get this balance to be one where we maybe take one of the 3 priorities and then return to pay-as-you-go.
Come on back to this program. You're always welcome, Congressman Joe Sestak. It is a pleasure. I want to keep this debate going because it's a very important one. Thank you, sir.
It really is. This is very important. Thank you.
All right, now we've got breaking news.